Hey guys, everything new it's on here. Here's a great article. This is actually from, let me just show it to you. This is from nationalgeographic.com. So a great secular, atheistic, evolutionistical, whatever, evolution believing, secular news source, mainstream news source. And it's about the discovery of Philistine cemetery. And that is putting the pieces together of the Bible. And so many say that the Bible is untrue and it's not proven, and there's a whole bunch of parts of it that are fake or myth. And pretty much every day science finds out, discovers stuff that proves the Bible. Archaeology proves the Bible, and the Bible is inerrant and it is correct. It is not myth. No part of it is myth. And science every day finds something to prove one more piece of it. And so the evolutionists are going to have to come around and admit that the Bible is correct and always was correct. Thanks to science, which is their religion, science is finding this stuff out. A human remains buried almost 3,000 years ago in southern Israel may help researchers finally solve the mystery of the Philistines' origins. An unraveled discovery of the southern coast of Israel. On the southern coast of Israel may enable archaeologists to finally unravel the origins of one of the most notorious and enigmatic peoples of the Hebrew Bible. I'm just going to go to the other view of the article here because I think it shows more images here. The discovery of a large cemetery between the walls of ancient Ashkelon, a major city of the Philistines between the 12th and 7th centuries BC, is the first kind of in history of archaeological investigation in the region. While more than a century of scholarship has identified 5 major cities of the Philistines and artifacts distinctive to their culture, only a handful of burials have been tentatively identified. Simply put, archaeologists have found plenty of pots but very few people. So now if you didn't believe that one more part of the Bible was true, the Philistines and their people, here you go. Now the discovery of a cemetery containing more than 211 individuals and dated from the 11th to 8th centuries BC will give archaeologists the opportunity to answer critical questions regarding the origin of the Philistines and how they eventually assimilated into local culture. Until this discovery, the absence of such cemeteries in major Philistine centers had made researchers' understandings of their burial practice and by turn their origins as accurate as mythology about George Washington chopping down the cherry tree, says Lawrence Stogger. And I would suggest that these researchers were atheists and evolutionists because they didn't believe this. And the Bible has always been proven true, so why would you not have faith in this case? According to the Hebrew Bible, the Philistines warred with the Israelite neighbors, even seizing the Ark of the Covenant for a time. The search for the cemetery became so desperate that archaeologists who studied the Philistines began to joke that they were buried at sea like the Vikings. That's why you couldn't find them. And of course, probably the atheists and the evolutionists, made fun. Oh, how come you can't find the bodies of them? And I'm sure that has come up in many creation evolution debates about the origins of the Bible and the origins of us. Biblical villains and pig eaters. The Philistines are among the most notorious villains of the Hebrew Bible. This uncircumcised group controlled the coastal region of modern-day southern Israel and the Gaza Strip, and warred with their Israelite neighbors, even seizing the Ark of the Covenant. Among their ranks were the devious Delilah, who robbed Samson of his strength by cutting his hair, and the giant Goliath, who made King Saul's troops tremble. Now, won't it be a fascinating day when they finally find the giants, the Nephilim, Goliath, and his brothers. He had like 5 brothers or something like that. That assumes that there's no conspiracy to hide the giants, and there's a lot of information, YouTube videos, sites suggesting that they have found a lot of giants. Now, there's been a lot of hoaxes too. But there have been a lot of suggestion that they have covered up a lot of giant skeletons because they don't fit in the evolutionary worldview. So I can't wait for the day when they actually do find giant skeletons, and to a point in this day and age, since everybody has cell phone cameras, where they won't be able to ignore it anymore. So that'll be interesting. Many researchers also tie the Philistines to the Sea Peoples, a mysterious confederation of tribes that appears to have wreaked havoc across the eastern Mediterranean at the end of the late Bronze Age. In the archaeological record, the Philistines appear in the early 12th century BC. Their arrival is signaled by artifacts that belong to what Stogger calls an extraordinarily different culture from the local populations at this time. Could they be one of the final tribes of that had interbred with the Nephilim, post-flood? Many do believe that's what occurred, and that's why they had giants in their population. These include pottery with close parallels to the ancient Greek world, and the use of an Aegean instead of Semitic script, and the consumption of pork, as well as occasional dogs. Several passages from the Hebrew Bible describe the interlopers as coming from the land of Kaftir, or modern-day Crete. Many researchers also tie the presence of the Philistines to exploits of the Sea People. And so here's an inscription or a pictograph, I guess you want to call it, or maybe it's just a picture, not a pictograph at all. A group of Sea Peoples, most likely Philistines, and this is where the Palestinians get their name from, basically an alliteration, I think, of the name Philistine, is depicted in detail from a relief at a mortuary temple of Ramses III in Luxor, Egypt. The pharaoh battled the mysterious coalition of tribes around 1180 BC. And it goes through here. The majority of the archaeological and textual evidence has pointed to Philistine homeland somewhere in the Aegean, but until the discovery of the cemetery in Ashkelon, there are no human remains from indisputably Philistine sites for researchers to study. So there's a skeleton again there at a different angle. And it goes on. The remains of very few children have been found in the cemetery. The remains of the very few children were deliberately buried under a blanket of broken pottery pieces. That's interesting. A very different method of burial. The excavations reveal the burial practices very different from the early Canaanites or the neighboring Judeans. Instead of laying a body in a chamber, then collecting the bones a year later and moving them elsewhere, the individuals buried in Ashkelon Cemetery were buried individually in pits or collectively in tombs and never moved again. A few cremation burials were also identified. And there you see looks like a child there. Child burial is excavated. So much what we know about the Philistines is told by their enemies, and that's speaking of the Hebrew Bible. Now we'll really be able to tell their story by the things they left behind for us. It goes on, and so I'll leave it there. So just more proof that the Bible is correct. It's historically accurate in everything it says. It is never proven wrong. It is always proven right. The more science comes up with, the more archaeologists find, and the more that is absolutely, not hidden, not hidden by some conspiracy or whatever, like the giant skeletons. The Bible speaks of giants in the land, and I think it'll be fascinating when they finally reveal those and that comes out and they're not able to suppress that information. All right, I'll leave it there, guys. Getting long here. And this is straight from nationalgeo.com, nationalgeograph.com, mainstream, proving that your Bible is correct. It is true, it is inerrant, and you can keep having faith in it because every day they find something new that they didn't believe about the Bible before, and it proves the Bible is true. Thanks for watching, guys. We will see you in the next video.